if you've got the Shell APF pension and you're thinking about retiring, consider waiting until you get your 2024 bonus payout. You don't want to leave any money on the table. Hi, I'm Nick Johnson, President at Willis Johnson Associates, and I'm here to educate you on how your Shell APF pension works and why sticking around till March of 2024 likely could make sense for you. So first off, who's got the APF pension? If you were hired at Shell anytime after 2014, or if you were hired prior to 2014 and elected to be on the APF pension, then this applies to you. People hired prior to 2014 have the option of being on the APF pension or the 80-point pension. You can make an election each year for what you want the following year to look like. And how does the APF pension formula work? The APF pension formula, you take your accumulated annual percentages, you multiply that times your average final compensation to get the standard benefit, which is a lump sum. Okay, so the math's pretty easy, but how do we define accumulated annual percentages and average final compensation? That's what I want to talk about next. How does average final compensation actually work? And average final compensation is the key here, because that is what's really pushing us to wait until March of 2024 before you retire. So average final compensation is the highest consecutive 36 months within the last 10 years. For average final compensation at Shell, they look at your base pay and cash bonus. Shell performance shares don't count. Base pay, cash bonus, highest 36 months, last 10 years. So here's an example. Let's say someone at Shell had a compensation of 240, 247, 255, and 17 through 19. Good bonus years. Then what do we know happened in 2020 and 2021? Weak to no bonuses, right? COVID, energy prices, it was a rough time. All of a sudden, 2022 and 2023, the bonuses have been pretty good. But even if someone retires here in 2023, we're pulling average final compensation from 2017 because we've only gotten 2 consecutive good bonus years. In this case, average final compensation is 247. But if you stick around till your bonus payout in 2024, all of a sudden we've got 3 consecutive years of higher bonuses, and we can use an average final compensation of 310 to calculate your pension. This makes a big difference. The next thing we got to understand is, how does the accumulated percentage formula work? This one's a little bit more complicated. Essentially, we're taking a summation of all these percentages. You earn a percentage based on your APF points. Your APF points are based on your years of service and your age. Confused? Don't worry. We're going to walk through an example next. Okay, here's an example. It's 1993. You're 31 years old and you just started working at Shell. You have no prior years of experience working at Shell. We add up your age plus your years of service, and we get 31 points. If we go back to that table I just showed you, if you're at 31 points, you get a 4%. So you only started working midway through the year, so we get a prorated 3.33. The next year, you're 32. You had 1 prior year working at Shell. You get 33 points. We take the 33, we look at the table, it's 4%. We keep doing this each and every year, and we start putting these percents in a table. Eventually, you're 36 years old. 5 prior years working at Shell, 41 points. If you have 41 points, we get to use 6% instead of 4% according to the table. We keep doing this. Eventually, it goes from 6% to 8%, from 8% to 10%, from 10% to 13% to 16%, and eventually, at 61 years old, 30 years of service, you retire from Shell. And if we add up your accumulated percentages, if we add up all those percentages from each and every year that you earned, it adds up to 300.33%. That's how you get your accumulated annual percentages. And as we remember, we go back to the formula. It's your accumulated annual percentages times average final compensation equals the lump sum, the standard benefit you get at Shell. So in this particular example, depending on when you retire, you could get $247,000 as your average final compensation or $310,000. Why does that matter so much? And why is it important to consider waiting 90 days to retire? Well, 300% times 247, $741,000 lump sum. Kind of nice lump sum value. You can roll into the Provident Fund. You can roll over into your IRA. You can defer taking taxes. But just by waiting until you get your bonus in March of 2024, assuming it's a decent bonus, we get to use average final compensation of $310,000. That's a lump sum value of $930,000, which is an addition of $189,000. So you can get an additional $189,000 for your pension by waiting until March of 2024 to retire. Make sure you run the numbers, do the math, understand your benefits, and don't leave any money on the table if you're thinking of retiring from Shell in the near term. If you liked this and you want other great ideas on how to make sure you get to keep more of what you earn, take advantage of your Shell benefits, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Facebook, check out the links to some of our Shell Timing Your Retirement webinars in the description, and of course, follow us on YouTube.